think the only time I was in Minneapolis was when I got rerouted there from Seattle because Baltimore was flooding, and I had to land there and drive a rental car with a total stranger from Minneapolis to DC for 10 hours straight overnight.
Wait, why with a total stranger?
Because he's John Candy, and this is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Because I met her on the flight. We were both coming from Seattle. We both ended up rerouted on the same flight. She was in line with me at the ticket agency at Seattle or the ticket counter, and we got the last 2 tickets to this new flight, which is eventually going to take us to Reagan. But once we got to Minneapolis, they're like, all flights to that area have been canceled. And I was like, son of a bitch. And I had fish in my suitcase, so I had to get back as soon as possible. So, yeah.
I had fish in my suitcase.
I feel like that's code word for...
No, I had fish in my suitcase. So one of my coworkers was like, hey, can you go to the Pike's Place Market and pick me up some salmon? I'll pay you for it. They'll pack it for you to go with like dry ice and stuff for like shipping or like, carry it on a flight for like 24 hours. I was like, sure, whatever. So in the morning I leave, I run out on the market, get the fish, get the salmon, get to the airport, and it's packed and just a total clusterfuck. And then... So
Josh, at what point did your suitcase start smelling? And she's like, what the hell's that smell? And you're just, it's nothing. Is that your suitcase? What have you got in there?
I made it to Dulles with an hour to spare before I hit 24 hours.
Glad to hear the fish made it.
The fish made it, but they shorted me on a pound of it, so he had to call him and get another pound shipped.
After all that trouble.
Yep.
Thanks for, hey, this is a pound light.
It's a finder's fee. That was a finder's fee.
Basically.
The nerve.
Yeah.
I would have been like, thanks, Josh. This was perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I feel like you could just slightly alter a few details and you'd have a best-selling novel on your hands. It's too good. Everything about it is too good, except there's not enough murder. Or
Yeah, definitely not enough murder. Or maybe there is. Maybe Josh just didn't tell us the real story. Maybe he edited it for the cast.
Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of Rather Be Playing, the podcast where we talk about how we'd rather be playing games than
running a half marathon when it's 90% humidity outside as well. Yeah,
sucks.
I'm
Josh.
I'm Elliot.
And I'm Stevo.
Yeah, I would also rather be playing games, or would have also had been playing games.
Just bring your Switch with you. Just carry it while you're running.
I should have done that.
Well, congratulations on the half marathon anyway.
Thanks.
Did you finish?
I did finish. I had a personal record as well. I beat my last time by 14 seconds.
So nice. What was the personal record?
The new record is 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 2 seconds.
Wow, nice.
Down from 16 seconds a couple years ago now. So I'm older and faster. Screw you, 2 years younger, Elliot.
Improving with age. What a man.
What a man.
It's like a fine wine. He's got legs. I'll see myself out.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, so it was the rock and roll series. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one, but it's a pretty big, pretty prolific, I guess, race series, and they do them all over. And this one was in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
So we spent the weekend in Brooklyn.
How was it? Did you go to that arcade game place that I went to while I was there?
No, we didn't. We did a little like wandering around and like hit a few restaurants and bars and stuff afterwards, but it was a pretty exhausting day.
Yeah, I can imagine. You ran 13 miles.
To say the least. Yeah. And it's not just that, like you have to get up at like 4:45 because the race starts at 7 and they say be there at 6 because there's security.
Right.
And then so like we got done, showered, ate, and by then it was 2:00. It's like we've been up for 10 hours. You know?
Yeah. Well, hopefully you got a feel for it. Do you feel like you want to go back and explore it more, or do you prefer Manhattan? Is there other parts of New York
we've been to Brooklyn a few times now, and this time was our first time going up to Williamsburg, and that was very different from what I'd heard.
Yeah.
You know, I always hear that it's where like the hipsters, when they get old and rich, that's where they like buy their houses, and there's nothing really to do there. But there was a surprisingly like active scene up there, and there's a few neighborhoods or like a few blocks where there was tons to do, lots of people around, and it was really nice.
I've never been to either. I've been to Manhattan, but I haven't been to Brooklyn. Or really,
Brooklyn's awesome. Yeah, I really like it.
Well, did you manage to play any games while training and racing?
We did. I did. I got my Super NES Classic in, so I've been playing.
Excellent, congratulations!
A lot. Yeah, it finally like yours. You guys got yours in a few days earlier, I think.
Yeah,
maybe a week earlier.
I got mine release date. You did too, didn't you, Josh?
I mean, technically got delivered then, but I was out of town, so I had to wait a couple days. But
yeah. I think I got mine like 2 days after you got back, Josh.
Yeah.
And I played all the way through for the first time Star Fox.
Oh, cool. Nice. Did it take you long? It's a pretty short one, isn't it?
No, it was like, I don't even think it was an hour. It was a
seriously
quick one. Yeah.
And
it was.
Is it a story? Is it like, or can you go back? Is there lots to play around that? Is there side stories, side missions and stuff?
So I think Josh, you're probably better equipped to answer, but it seems like there's 3 ways to play through the game.
Yeah.
And so I beat it on one way, and I guess I could go back and beat it the other 2.
Forwards, backwards, and upside down.
So if you just play through the levels normally, just go, fight through the level, beat the boss, go on to the next level. That's just like the straightforward way to do it. But there's like warp zones and stuff that can take you to the two separate other paths that you can take to the end. And there's all sorts of different levels along those paths. So
so you can't just select, I'm going to do left path, I'm going to do right path. You actually have to find the ways, like the gates to those paths through the first level.
No. So like it's not even the first level. Like for one of the paths, it's in the asteroid belt level. You have to shoot like a certain combination or a certain asteroid or something like that. I cannot honestly remember what, but that's like what triggers it. So once you after you shoot it or after you beat the level, then you like jump over to the other path.
Oh, so I just did the straight way.
Yeah, same here.
All the way through.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've done the warp stuff, so I couldn't remember. So I just played through regularly and beat it that way.
Cool. So yeah, there's more content to go through then.
Yeah.
But
was it as good as you remember? I've heard rumors that it doesn't look as good as you remember anyway.
I'm blown away by it graphically. The fact that like you look at Super Mario World, you look at Zelda, you look at like what 95% of the games on Super NES look like, and then you see this game that looks like an early PS1 game.
Yeah,
the frame rate sucks and it has issues, but it's remarkable to me that they were able, like what they were able to do with.
It's definitely a product of its time game. Like, yes, if you compare it to other games nowadays, you're gonna be like, this thing looks like dirt. And like Elliot said, the frame rate's pretty bad, but it's still playable. And you just, because
fun.
And when I was a kid, I didn't give a shit about frame rate. So it's still fun to play. It's blocky. It's ugly. Have
you guys tried switching between the different display modes? Because I was looking at Pixel Perfect. I was playing a little bit of Super Mario Kart with Nisha yesterday, and it was so pixelated and so bad. I gave the interlaced mode a go.
Yeah.
Which actually
scan lines.
It does. It blurs things a little bit. It actually has a little bit of an annoying feel when you're driving along towards something and something just isn't right. It feels like it's out of sync or something strange. But it definitely softens the pixelated graphics.
Yeah.
In general, like, would you feel it helped in Star Fox, or did you not even try it out?
So Star Fox is a little different because it's polygons. It's not sprites. So you're not really. Yeah. You're not really seeing pixels.
Well, you're still seeing pixels.
Well, right. But you're not seeing like discrete pixels on the screen, because characters and items and ships aren't made up of, 2D sprites. They're made up of blocks. So it might help. I'm not sure. It might make it look smoother, but it's still going to run like dirt.
Is the frame rate really bad?
It's workable, and like when you have like a ton of explosions on the screen, it's going to suddenly slow down. But yeah,
I'd be really interested to see, as someone who's never played it before, if I can put up with it, because one of my biggest hang-ups on any kind of game, modern or old, is like hitching and frame rates. That might really bug me.
You don't actually like appreciate it on the older ones. You're not like, because Because like there's some games where
in Super Mario World, for example, when there's so much going on the screen that it slows down, I'm like, oh, look at this. It's adorable.
It is. It's not just adorable, but because there's so much going on and then it slows down and it kind of gives you a chance to measure what you're going to do, to plan ahead a little bit, to see what all is actually happening. And I find that like a relief almost.
Yeah. I mean, it's even like back with like the NES. Like take Mega Man 2, Metal Man stage. Yes. You got like the presses that come down with the spikes from the top of the screen. Whenever there's like 2 of those on the screen, the game slows down and there's like, and you see like glitches in the background. Yeah. Like it's just the product of what it was. So
I like that when I played Mega Man 2 on the NES Classic, it was actually all of that was still there, it still slows down the same way. And Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo Classic does exactly the same. And I know because it's actually the game that I've spent all my time with so far.
Was this your first time playing it?
Yes. Okay. So to give you a bit of reasoning for this, I know Josh gave me Donkey Kong Country for my backlog roulette game, but I was thinking I didn't want to get into anything that might take me too long or that, I might play over several weeks, which I thought Donkey Kong Country I would because I'm crap at that kind of platformer. It's so different. And as well, because it's old, I just figure it'd probably be a kind of difficult game. So the reason I didn't start playing it as soon as my Super Nintendo game, this Super Nintendo Classic, is because I'm also getting a UK one shipped over. My dad mailed it a week ago, and it just arrived today, actually. And the PAL version, the Super Famicom version, looks so much nicer. It's so much prettier. And now that I have it, like, it's the one that I'm going to keep and I'm going to play. Sure. So I'm going to start playing the bigger games on it. I'll start playing Final Fantasy 3, and I'll start playing Donkey Kong Country since Josh has declared that I must get through it. But, well, Elliot, come on, you don't agree with that? You don't prefer the PAL version? It's got colors on it. It's yellow and blue and red and green. It's lovely.
I've tolerated the idea that the PAL version, the Japanese version,
the idea better. You mean the commonly held
the concept,
the commonly held belief? Everyone agrees. It's consensus.
The abstract idea that the PAL version is in any way more attractive. The only thing I'll give it is that it's smaller, and I do appreciate that it's smaller, but
it's rounder. It's cooler. It's nicer. It looks like happy.
When you put the two side by side, I couldn't hold my tongue. And maybe it's pure nostalgia. Maybe your nostalgia. It's versus.
Yeah, you're right. It could be
compared to my much better nostalgia.
Yeah.
I will just say I like the Super NES console better, but I would prefer the Famicom controller because it's got different colors for the buttons.
Yeah, the different colors for the buttons look amazing. But okay, the thing about the North American console, it's so square edged, and even the buttons being square on it it seems weird to me.
It's that cool retro vibe that's so in right now. It's like cassette tapes are coming back.
It's that whole retro vibe that's in right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just in Brooklyn. I know this now.
We can agree to disagree on this. What we will agree on is Super Mario World might be the greatest game ever made. It is got to be up there in terms of 2D platformers. It might be the greatest ever made. Josh is a Mega Man fan. Okay,
I'll
Josh,
say it might be.
I mean, even I'm not saying it's a good game. It's a great game. I will say that. I don't know.
So the thing that I loved about it was such a step up from Super Mario 3, which was such a step up from Super Mario 1, which I had played quite a bit of both on the NES Classic. I didn't say NES, lads. I'm trying here.
It's true.
Well, now you get to play it. Now you get to play it on your Famicom.
SNES Classic. But Super Mario World, just it is so much better looking. There all of the different exits on all the levels, so the different paths and the tricks to it. There's so many smart things going on that you're just like, I can see the key. So on some of the levels, there's multiple ways of getting out. So instead of just keeping going to the right as far as you can to hit the end of the level, you have to either go down pipes or swim somewhere or like somehow avoid the finish line to get past to a different finish line, and you'll find a key and lock which allows you to get to maybe Warp Zone, or sorry, you don't call it the Star Road, or maybe just to one of the Switch Palaces, and it just makes you want to replay levels until you get it right. Like the one, you can probably tell me the exact level, Josh. The one where you have to do it in a certain length of time. Oh, it's Chocolate Island, isn't it? Chocolate Island 4, maybe?
Been way too long, but go ahead.
So it's the one with all the little flame guys, and there's like 3 different ways of doing it, and one of them involves getting a certain number of coins, one of them involves getting through certain parts of the level within a certain length of time, or then there's a combination of those 2 things. And I was fighting that level for hours. I replayed that one level like about 2.5 hours. I'm a terrible wuss. In the end, I just gave up and looked up on YouTube what the trick was to it.
I only played up till World 3 this time, so I'm not there yet. So I'll have to, maybe once I get there, I'll see what it is. I'm drawing a blank here.
I found 70 exits of 96.
Oh yeah.
Jeez, man, you've been playing it like crazy.
As I say, it was the only thing. I was just like, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna try and 100% it. And that's without even touching the Star Road. That has just been like where I see a level. So the little point on the map, so the world map, you'll know that there's 2 exits if it's red as opposed to yellow. There'll only be 1 exit on a yellow dot.
Yeah.
So I've really been fighting it. Where I see it, I won't move on to the next level just by getting the regular exit. I'll try and find the other one. But it's such an amazing game. It plays beautifully. It still looks amazing. The colors are fantastic. The amount of different ways it feels to play, from like just small Mario, Super Mario, having the cape or Yoshi into the mix. It is just so much joy.
How many times have you murdered Yoshi?
Several. That poor lad. I can't believe he keeps coming back. Like, he's a great bunch of lads. But
did you hear that little Easter egg reveal?
Yes.
One of the original programmers of Mario confirmed that Mario is in fact punching Yoshi in the back of the head to make his tongue come out.
The poor lad. Like,
that's abusive shit. Is that Mario?
It's really that's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, at least we know. At least we've seen his true colors now.
Now we know. Yeah.
I've like I said, I've got to the World 3 of Mario World, but I've booted up pretty much every game at least once to play a little bit of it. Probably most of my time was spent in Secret of Mana, though. Been playing a lot of that.
Did you finish it yet?
Have I finished it? I mean, I've beaten it before, but I mean,
I know, but
no, I've just gotten.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
Yep, you can stop there. The
third elemental. That's as far as I've gone. So
cool. It's one that I have been holding off playing till the PAL version arrived, and now I'm hoping that maybe I can convince Nisha to play it. Because Josh, you were telling me that it is co-op, yeah?
Yeah, it's co-op.
Is it a difficult game? Do you think?
Yes and no. I'd say overall it's not that difficult, but there are some annoying difficulty spikes with some of the bosses. Like, so I won't spoil the bosses or anything, but there's like one of the biggest annoyances with Secret of Mana is like the hit detection. Like you'll think you're hitting the enemy, but you won't be hitting the enemy, or you'll think you dodge the enemy, but the enemy actually hits you and knocks you around. And some bosses can actually like stun lock you to death. So it's like I said, the game itself is probably not terribly difficult, but there are spikes in difficulty, specifically when it comes to some of the bosses. The last boss actually is pretty fucking rough too.
And it's not that, but do both players have to survive at all times? Like, is it possible for me to beat the boss and Nisha to, stay in, or do you have lives? Like,
no. So it's like a standard RPG type thing where you have revive items. You only have 4 of them though. Yep. You can only carry 4 rather. You can get a resurrect spell, I think, later on, way later in the game. But like one of the characters, all he does is attack. Or he can only use weapons. Another character can only use like certain is more like healing / support. I think she does have some attack spells, and the other one's more like attack spells versus support. So keeping them alive is pretty much just a factor of wanting to use or keep having those 3 types of characters still alive to do damage or heal and things like that.
Okay, so regardless, I have to. I'm controlling the party, and if someone else is to play it with you, they just take control of one of the party members.
Yep.
Okay, and do they have like much control over it, or you were saying that Final Fantasy 3 actually has the same thing, doesn't it? You were saying that they could play as a party member too.
Yeah, so in Final Fantasy 3, all it is like when you're in battles, you can have a second player control some of the party. Like you and Elliot,
man.
Elliot,
so frustrating.
Elliot plays as Terra and Locke, and Stevo plays as Edgar and Sabin or something.
Okay, and then how does Secret of Mana differ?
So Secret of Mana is not a turn-based RPG. There are no battle menus. It's action. It's like Zelda. You're walking around. So Nisha would just pick a different character and walk around. Now you can't go like, it's not split screen. So like she can't go off and do whatever. There's still like a rubber band. You can't go too far from each other thing. Cool. So
it's definitely one I got to give a go though.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can convince her.
You might want to start playing a little bit because you don't actually get the second character for a small amount of time. So.
Oh, okay. That's worth knowing. Cheers.
Is the second character Elliot at any point? Because I feel like that guy's pretty underrated.
Elliot's a douche.
Right.
Harsh. What else have we been playing, lads?
Not to
Super Nintendo games. What have you hit, Elliot?
I've been hitting after I beat Star Fox. I was like, I'm on a fucking roll. I'm gonna go beat some more games I haven't finished yet. And I started up Mario RPG.
Oh yeah, how is it?
I haven't finished it yet. I'm just a few hours in, so I won't get into it too much right now. But
did you get any of the party members yet?
Yeah, so I got the first one, just Mallow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're not very far in. Okay.
Which I'm guessing is
marshmallow, like mallow,
short for like the British spelling of marshmallow.
That's how you spell it in English.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
How you spell it in every country?
Marshmallow?
It is, yes.
Yes.
How have you been spelling it?
He thinks it's an E. It's an A.
Oh, no.
Pronounced like an E.
I know, marshmallow, but it's an M-A. It's not M-E.
Marshmallow?
Yeah.
Elliot's world is coming crashing down around him as we speak.
Oh my God.
It's like
I don't like this at all.
Alumnus.
Okay. Call back to episode 3.
I don't know. It was a while ago. Yeah.
I'm going to stick with 3. We'll see how we do.
But Mario RPG is great. I'm excited to hear what you think about it.
It's got an incredible sense of humor that's like, well, Stevo, what you're saying about Super Mario World, and I guess what I'm most impressed by that and like Super Mario RPG as well is how well these games hold up today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How many things Super Mario World introduced that are still like what you expect to find in a really good platforming game.
Yep. And
And it's the same kind of thing with Super Mario RPG in terms of like the sense of humor and like the way it evolved the turn-based game to have like timed button presses.
Yeah. Action elements in it.
Yeah. And it just blows my mind that these games came out decades ago.
Yeah.
And today that's still a winning formula.
Yeah.
Shit, I lost my train of thought. I'm just going to delete all that.
We've peaked. We're done. We've peaked.
Yeah, that's what's impressed me the most about playing these Super Nintendo games. It's not just that these games are good. It's, you see the little elements to make them good, and you're like, I find these things in the games that I'm playing today.
Yeah.
And it's like, how's this been around for so long? Because it seems so ingenious.
But that's how Nintendo does it, isn't it? They change things slightly. They change things in a way that other people didn't even think of, wouldn't even have occurred to them, and they become standards because they make a thing fun. And
yeah.
And people are still like trying to find. I would say they're very solid because they laid a very solid foundation. Mm-hmm. Games since then they've still tried to evolve and take those basic concepts and make them better, or in the case of like timed hits, make them worse in Legend of Dragoon.
Greatest game ever made.
Fucking worst game ever made. And so, but I mean, it's still showing to you that people, even though it's been like decades, and you still see these things in there, there are still variations and evolutions on that formula that are being tested out and tried, and some more successful than others.
Yeah. Is there any other games that we've played on there that are worth a mention, or any other that we're planning on hitting up?
On the classic, I'm just gonna finish. My only plans are to finish Mario RPG and maybe try the other paths on Star Fox. But those are the only two I've played, and a few like levels of Super Mario World, as I said. How about you, Josh?
I played some of the Kirby Superstar games. They're really short. There's like 8 games, and each one probably takes you 30 minutes, maybe.
So this is a game made up of smaller games.
Yeah. So Kirby Superstar has like. There's 6 games that are like, oh god, not even 6. Like, there's 4 that are unlocked at the beginning. The first one's like your basic Kirby game. There's a second one that's also your basic Kirby game, but it adds a slightly different mechanic to it. There's also like a race with King Dedede, which you can finish in like 5 minutes. Then there's like 2 tiny mini games, and then there's like 3 others, which again are just kind of more variations on the Kirby formula. They're all kind of fun, but they're all very simple, all very easy. And like I said, you can probably beat each of them in about half an hour. So,
how many of them are multiplayer?
A few of them. I'm actually not sure. Actually, now that I think about it, I wonder if. So in Kirby Superstar, one of the things you can do is when you inhale an enemy and absorb his powers, you can then like spit him back out as an enemy, but it's a guy that's on your team. So I wonder if that's 2-player. Like normally it's an AI controlled guy.
Yep.
But I wonder if like the second player can play as that.
I think that is how it is. I booted it up the other day and tried to have Nisha play it, but she wasn't really having it. There was too much going on screen, and I couldn't even tell when she was playing and when it was a computer controlled, or when how I was trying to tell her to press start to jump back in, but that didn't seem to be what did it. So
Right.
Might try to work that one out another time, but I don't know. I figure there's other games on there that are much more deserving of the time,
Yeah.
Is King Dedede really how it's pronounced?
I have no idea.
Or
I mean,
Dedede? Is that what you said?
I'm Irish, so I pronounce it Dedede.
Yeah, I do Dedede also.
I just said day. So
I mean, I guess if you're taking the phonetic Japanese, it'd be da-da-da. Or
So-
da-da-da.
da. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Dedede sounds better. Dedede sounds better.
Dedede. It doesn't sound as threatening as da. Well, I don't know. It's a stupid name.
It's not a very threatening game. It's very cartoony. You fight a fucking tree that lobs apples at you. I mean, it's not.
I need to be convinced. I need to be immersed in this world, Josh, and this just takes me out. I can't.
You didn't know how marshmallow was spelled.
Cheap digs, Josh. Oh.
That was cheap. That was
Yeah. I've like I said, I've probably booted up most of them. I played a bit of Link to the Past, which I've destroyed before, but it's just a fun game.
Oh, it's so good.
Done the first 3 dungeons.
nice.
See, I started at Mario RPG. I've just got out of I just did the first little bit. I wanted to play through all of like their openings of all the games just to see how they all looked on my TV.
Yeah.
And how they all played. So yeah.
Okay, by first little bit, what do you mean? Because I feel like I've said that I'm really far, and you've in other games, and you're like, oh, I just played a little bit. I'm 2 hours further than you, Elliot. It's like
No, Mario RPG. I just got to the first save point back in Mario's house. So
okay. I'm further than that. Are you guys playing with scan lines? Going back to Stevo's talk about all the different screen modes. I'm playing. I turned it on for a moment and was like, "This is so good. This looks like how it looked like when I played on a CRT back when I was a kid." And I haven't turned them off.
I honestly forgot that the options were there, so I haven't touched it.
So you're just doing plain old.
I'm doing whatever the default is, just 4x3.
Yeah, Pixel Perfect is the default, I think, Josh.
Okay.
So that's
No, I don't think
it
it is it? Pixel Perfect is the furthest option.
Is it? Okay, maybe 4x3 is the default.
I think it's just 4x3.
Just plain 4x3 is the default.
Cool.
And I do scan lines, but there's a fourth option too, right?
I think it's just 3, right?
There's Pixel Perfect, there's 4x3, and there's
Interlace.
Interlace, yeah.
That's it? Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
So for me, it's going to be game dependent. I've been playing Pixel Perfect for Super Mario World. I just figured that made more sense for, jumping, feeling the number of pixels that you can get to the edge before hopping.
Yeah.
Whereas Star Fox, I heard it looks terrible. I've heard
I
that
didn't even try it.
interlaced actually helps, soothes your poor broken eyes. If you happen to boot it up in Pixel Perfect mode. And then, it'll be game dependent, definitely.
Does anyone know if Secret of Mana, because Josh, you were just saying the hitboxes were crazy on that, if Pixel Perfect would solve that?
No, it's just I doubt it. It's really just the game.
The game is just shit. just garbage. Gotcha.
Don't tell me that. It's about to be really good. I'm looking forward to it.
No, it's a great game. It's just there's that quirk. You just have to get used to it.
Quote from Josh: Secret of Mana is pure garbage.
No.
Yeah, well, for me, it'll definitely be Donkey Kong Country next. Got to be done. Knock another one off the backlog. And Secret of Mana, if I can get Nisha to play it. And Final Fantasy 3, I'll play by myself, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's meant to be so good. It's the one that I'm looking forward to most at the moment.
That's good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Other games, lads. What other games have we been playing?
Oh man, so
we've actually been playing games. Who would have thought?
But none of them were games that we're supposed to be playing. But that's okay.
Shh, Elliot, don't tell anyone. Shh.
So the Switch eShop had like 2 weeks in a row where 5 games per week were released on it, and they were all incredible must-have games. And I bought like 4 Switch games on the eShop.
What did you buy?
So I bought Golf Story. I bought Stardew Valley.
Yep.
I
Good
bought
man.
Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time.
Yes.
And on Stevo's recommendation entirely. And what was the last one?
Axiom Verge?
No, I didn't. I decided since I already have it on PS4, I'm not going to buy any games I've already bought before.
Yeah. I think
I had to cut myself off at some point. So.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Spender.
It'll come back to me as we talk, but
I don't know. Now I've got Stardew Valley on the go, and that might have been the 3rd time I bought it.
Yeah, so I also bought Golf Story. I'm on the fence about Axiom Verge and Stardew Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Stardew Valley, everyone is all about it, but it just feels like one of those time sinks that I'm worried is going to get in the way of other games that I have to get through, you know?
I feel the same way.
That's possibly true. But it's also a game that I never thought I'd enjoy, but I was like, screw it. I keep hearing such great things, and I tried it, and I'm like, oh, it's 3 a.m.
That's what I worry about. I never got into Harvest Moon. I never got into games like that. Like, I played a lot of Animal Crossing at one point, which is also, I feel like, a bit similar in the simulation, as far as simulations go.
Kind of, yeah.
And I haven't really fallen down the hole yet of Stardew Valley. I haven't played too much, but I'm starting it out. I just planted some stuff and I watered it, but it hasn't hooked me yet.
Yeah. Josh, is there anything you would say to get him playing it more, or is there anything you'd say to get me to buy it?
I mean, it just takes a little bit of going, but once you kind of develop a rhythm and you kind of understand the time constraints that you have each day and sort of that, and just how much you can do, and you can kind of incrementally, make it so that you could do more each day.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it's a very relaxing game. You can play it however you want. There's a soft ending, like after 2 years, like you kind of get graded, but even if you don't meet the grade you want, you can just get regraded later. It doesn't matter. And so like you can theoretically just play it however you want, take as long as you want to do whatever you want. It's just fine.
I've heard people describe it as a therapeutic game. As something
I would say so, yes. Yeah. I would definitely say that.
You can absolutely relax with, just zone out from everything else and like, just spend a couple hours at it.
Like one day you could spend, you know what, I'm going to spend this day clearing out my farm, or the next day I'm going to spend it fishing and making some money selling the fish, or maybe tomorrow I'm going to go work on meeting all the villagers and raising up our friendships and things like that. Or, maybe today I'm going to go into the mines and kill things. It's just, there's a variety of ways to play. There's really no right way to do it. And it's just, just go and relax and have fun.
Okay. And we've all picked up Golf Story, and I think we're all similar ways through it, aren't we?
It sounds like it, yeah.
It's fantastic. You guys have been loving it too?
I absolutely love it. That's what I've put the most time into so far of all the purchases.
Tell us about it.
It's what gets me the most is the sense of humor. Obviously, it has very charming, like 16-bit graphics, sprites, and just the most adorable sense of humor. Lots of tongue in cheek, lots of, little, like, you chuckle throughout the whole time. Man, I'm losing my words. You chuckle often. It's
like that, just like that.
So the way the game is, you're a golfer, and the story is ridiculous and hilarious. Why you're doing it, the whole conversation with your girlfriend at the start, like, I have to do this, and something about your dad.
But it's heartfelt as well.
It's really sweet. It's you play golf, like you go from course to course to course playing golf, and the mechanic
okay, so it's not your regular golf game. It's not from behind the perspective of the player. It's not 3D. It's an over 2D sprites, top down,
overhead view golf RPG.
And you actually spend more time wandering around the grounds than you do actually on the golf course.
But the thing is though, is like almost everything you do involves you dropping a ball on the ground and whacking it. Like there's things where you need to hit a person or hit a thing, and in order to hit it, you need to hit it with a golf ball.
You interact with the world by and there are actual courses, and it has your, I think everyone's played a golf game at some point where you hit the button to start, and then the little like cursor goes across the power gauge, and you have to stop it at the right moments to get the right swing. And the mechanics are simple and intuitive, and just enough to give you all the control you need while not being overly complex, so you can just keep going and going and going.
But also enough to frustrate you if you miss it by a millisecond.
And I've heard like later courses get real frustrating.
They do.
But not there yet, and I'm really enjoying it. It just came out of nowhere. It's a Switch exclusive from an Australian developer.
Sidebar Games,
yeah. And it's who I haven't heard of before either.
Yeah.
And it's a like that's my like that's I bought it. It came out the week before Stardew Valley, and I was looking forward to Stardew Valley, and I bought this instead to kind of tie me over. And I'm enjoying this more, as like it's giving me more of what I hoped Stardew Valley would have given me than Stardew Valley is so far.
Yeah, I've only been playing a little bit of it here and there because, I've been traveling, and when I've been at home, I've been playing the PS4 a bit more. But this seems like it could be the game to take over from Persona 4 Golden for me now that I've finished that.
You finished it.
Yep. I can't
Did we
believe
talk
it.
about this last episode?
We might have. 120 hours. That's all you need to know. Oh my god. Great game. Nice characters. Fun story. But 120 hours at your own peril. That's all I'll say. Golf story though. It's something that I could like if I'm feeling lazy and don't want to watch a TV, I could sit in the sofa and play a little bit of it here and there in the evenings. Or if I'm babysitting my niece and nephew and they're off to bed and I'm sitting around, I can bring it with me and play a little bit of it like I did with Persona. So this could be my next one that takes me years to finish, but it's so much fun. And as you say, it's so funny that there's so much character in it. Like the NPCs, non-player characters,
they're all assholes. Everybody's an asshole.
They're funny.
I know.
They are assholes. That's one thing that makes it so unique. It's this little sprite-based, charming game, and yet, like, the people are seedy and like up to no good. And it's like, oh wow, wasn't expecting this. That's pretty funny. I'm gonna roll with it.
Yeah,
it works. It works really well.
Humor's pretty good. It's very self-deprecating too. It's just it's funny. I've been enjoying it. Some of the courses though later, they get rough, but it does with each course like teach you new ways to kind of play. I mean, not like in extreme ways, but just different ways to think about how you would actually tackle a course. So,
and as Elliot says, the best thing about it is that it's the simplest golf mechanics ever. The golf in inverted commas mechanics is just press A to start swinging, press A to hit your power, press A to hit your accuracy, and it's just get the timing right. It's so simple. I guess more recent golf games have all used the right analog stick and push up, push down, push up, something like that, which is a lot trickier. And I'm sure for people who haven't ever played a golf game, or for people who have no interest in golf, like anyone could play this game. Yeah. Anyone who has never even played a game could play this game.
If anybody remembers the Microsoft Golf that came with Windows 95, it's the same system.
Nobody remembers that.
What? Or dancing.
But there's also room for fine tuning. Like you can. Well, there's swerve there, so you can like top spin or back spin. Yeah. You can do a drop shot. There are extra little mechanics that you can throw in there, and there's ones that are totally non-golf. Like in the Lurker Valley, you had to bounce things off
Yeah.
turtles in the
Yeah.
water. So you have to aim for a certain part in the water that you know there's going to be a turtle there that's going to like flick your ball on, bounce your ball off a shell further on, which is like got nothing to do with golf at all, but it's just funny.
Yeah.
It's great.
And you don't even need to fine tune it. You could just like adjust, the overarching simple, like adjust the power, pull out of the golf mini game and just turn your character slightly, pivot a little more to the angle, and then try again. And it's there if you want it, but you don't need it. And it's a really good balance to keep the flow going.
Yeah, I will definitely see it through. It like I said, I don't think I'm probably more than halfway done at this point or so. It doesn't seem like it's a terribly long game, but it's fun. So I'll see it through, and then I'll go back to being obsessed with Stardew Valley too. Yeah. Which I'm saying, Elliot, just give it a few like a weeks, or maybe just do like the first season. I think once you get into a groove, you'll be kind of enamored with it.
I haven't given up on it. It's just I'm just playing so many, like between Mario RPG and Golf Story and everything else. I just haven't given it the time it needs to hook me. So
have you been playing the other Switch games? Have you booted up Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time yet?
I haven't even booted that up. I want to play it with Amy.
Yeah, definitely play it with Amy. It's great.
I also looked up the last 2 games I bought.
What are they?
Inverses, which we played at PAX.
Oh, right.
It's great.
And it has online multiplayer, so I'm hoping to convince you guys to grab it at some point. And God, I already forgot it. I just checked. Oh, Thimbleweed Park.
Oh yeah. It's another one that I have on my wish list that I'm kind of like going between it and Axiom Verge, which I should pick up, that I might be tempted to play while traveling, like you play 3 hours solid of it and really make progress in it.
Yeah. Have you bought Axiom Verge on?
No, that's why I'm kind of, I think you sent me that money off voucher. What was like you pay $40 for $50 in the Nintendo store, and then I bought Golf Story, and I'm still thinking about how to spend the other $35. So Axiom Verge, Thimbleweed Park. There's a few others in there that I was considering, but I haven't taken the plunge on any of them yet.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, though, we've got something else coming up in 16 days.
Our very next episode will be on Halloween, episode 13.
Nice.
Yes.
Cue wolf howl in the background.
Also, it's episode 13.
I just said that.
I know.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Wow, that was freaky. You both said it. Whoa.
I wasn't listening. I apologize. But
well, have we got any plans for it? Are you guys going to be partying your little asses off in your sexy nurse outfits?
Yes, I'm going to be a sexy pyramid head as I try to get through Silent Hill.
Yeah. Josh, any ideas what you're going to dress up as?
A house husband.
Yeah,
I'm probably not doing anything. We'll see.
Do tell.
No. I live in an apartment complex where the doors are on the inside, so it's not like anybody's coming to my door. So I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, no one can get in?
No, I mean it's
Do you have a front desk?
No, the outer door's locked.
There's no one can get in and no one can get out.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the wife's got something scheduled for us, but as far as I know, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, in terms of games, have we got any plans of what we're going to be playing?
Yeah, let's play some scary ass games.
Yeah, Elliot loves it. And that's what he's all about.
I'm all up for the spirit of the season. I don't know if I'll actually play, but Silent Hill is my backlog game, and maybe this is the impetus I need to actually get through it. Because I'm not going to play any fucking thing else. It's scary, I'll tell you that.
You've already played Until Dawn, but Josh, you haven't. So please convince Lily to play it with you, and if you can, stream it because it is so good. It's fantastic.
All right, I'll see.
It's perfect for Halloween. Oh God,
it's perfect for streaming too.
She would love it. If you have a PS4 camera,
I don't.
Then never
pick
mind.
One up. It's only $40 or something, isn't it?
The only problem with it though is like it's not recording all the time. So, okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, when you play Until Dawn and have a PS4 camera, it'll record your, like, there's a lot of jump scares and it records your reaction. And then at the end of the chapter, it plays it back for you, like all the times you
really?
jumped.
That sounds so good.
It does a split screen of the activity from the game and you guys just watching it. And like, so I played it with Amy, and the most hilarious part of it is how much time goes from the jump scare to our reaction. Like, it's not much, but it's not instant. You expect a boom, but it's more like a boom, It's like, whoa, like it really is a delayed response. But
so can you stream it, or or can you not actually stream it? Do you have to just record clips after?
I'm sure you could stream it, but you probably couldn't have your face on it while you're streaming.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
The downside, though, is whenever the PlayStation camera is recording, a tiny red light goes on.
And it takes you away. You realize there's a jump scare coming.
There's a jump, and that only actually happened one time. Where
cover up the light.
Yeah, put a little bit of
so that's
electrical tape on there.
But even once I learned about it, it didn't really give it, because I don't know. You're in the game so much.
Yeah.
You're so focused that I actually didn't notice when it was going off, except for one time. So it's not that bad. But yeah, it put some electrical tape on there or something.
Okay,
you do it. But it's so worth it, and it's a great game to play with someone else, because it's, you can talk about, have her make the choices and then you do them and stuff, and
there you go.
It's a good time.
Maybe I can convince her. We'll see.
What are you gonna play, Stevo?
Well, I booted up Hellblade. Senua's Sacrifice last night. Nisha actually watched a little bit of it. She wasn't totally bored, which is an improvement on most games.
A ringing endorsement. My significant other was not totally bored.
But I'm actually, I think I'm gonna play it through. But there's so many other games as well that I kind of want to play. I also booted up Costume Quest 2. And
I played through that.
It was fun, and Nisha actually found it kind of funny and interesting, but the lack of voice acting, I feel like, is a real knock on it.
Really?
Yeah, you have to read all the dialogue, and it would have been so much more fun with like kids' voices on it, making the jokes.
Wow, yeah.
I don't know.
I played it through on iOS, so
yeah, maybe I shouldn't be so like caught up by that. Like it's not a big deal. But
you're in for a rude awakening with this SNES Classic.
Well, at least I'll expect it there. With this, I really wasn't expecting it, because I knew the original Costume Quest didn't have voice acting. So I kind of...
you're playing the sequel, okay.
Yeah, so I kind of assumed
the first one.
The sequel would have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have thought they'd have added that extra step, but it's maybe just a minor gripe. I'm sure I could play it and enjoy it for what it is, a little turn-based strategy game with a lot of jokes in there, a lot of Double Fine jokes, which everyone loves. Tim Schafer, can't beat it.
Everyone loves Tim Schafer.
But the other like more horror games that I've been thinking about playing are Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
That's free now too.
And that's free now, yeah. So that was one of the reasons I was thinking about giving it a go. Playing that with a headset on, with all the lights out.
You need to stream that one.
Yeah.
I absolutely will. I'll stream Amnesia: The Dark Descent. I was also thinking about Soma, but I guess I got to pick one of the two, and whichever grabs me more.
Have Elliot come over when you play Amnesia.
Yeah, I want to watch the stream for sure. Because I'm not fucking playing that myself.
Elliot, are you actually gonna give one of these a go, or is
I'm gonna give Silent Hill a go. Yeah. Are you talking about the Amnesia collection?
No, I meant just any kind of horror game, because I don't trust you.
I feel like Costume Quest would be good.
Costume Quest is not a horror game,
but it is a Halloween game.
It is. Yes. No, I'm gonna try more Silent Hill. I'm going out of town for like the whole week next week, so I won't have too much time. But the goal here is to play some scary games and record an episode about it and have it up for Halloween. So at the very least, I want to watch someone's horrifying stream, because I do have Amnesia, I do have the game amnesia, and I've played. It is the most terrifying game I've played. I only made it about 5 minutes, and when you know it's that scary, you're already expecting shit to just like fuck with you.
I don't know. I'm the other way around. I think if I know it's really scary, I'm expecting to think it's going to be like comedy, like silly and
Really?
not actually affect me. That everyone thinks this is scary, so it's probably going to be shit.
Wow. Do you think the same thing when you see like construction ahead warning signs? You're like, oh, this will be just a fun joke.
I'm gonna speed up. But in fairness, I played a bit of that. What do you call the one that's based in an asylum, and you're looking through
Outlast.
Outlast, yeah, you're looking through a night vision camera for everything.
I actually played a bit of that, and the monsters just look too ridiculous. It took me out of it, so I was able to get through a little bit of it. For
some reason, I found it gave me nausea. I found it actually made me a little motion sick. Something about I don't know if it's the looking through a camera and walking around and that constant like looking through a camera then not looking through a camera, something about it just made me feel a bit sick. Or maybe I'm just a giant wuss as well, Elliot, and I've just got better excuses than you.
That's all it was. It's just the night vision. That's the only reason I don't like scary games. Yeah.
What else have you heard about that might be worth? The Evil Within 2 has just come out and is getting really high reviews. I haven't played the original, so probably not going to pick up the sequel. Either of you has played the original?
I played the opening like mission to the original, and I think I talked about it maybe like episode 4 or 5 or something on here, and it was I didn't find it scary, and maybe like I said, it was only the beginning. It was more like bloody. It was like they were trying to just out disgust me instead of freak me out. Or
so could you handle that? Do you think you could take this one for the team?
I handled the prologue fine. And so I'm willing to keep going. And then like after the prologue, you get to this really long cutscene filled with like campy dialogue and like typical Resident Evil, like Capcom, shitty, but yet amazing characters.
What a mansion!
I mean, yeah, like they have a style, and I think that they know what they're doing with it.
Yeah, I gotta give it a shot. I haven't tried it yet.
But yeah, like I didn't. I saw an article saying like why Evil Within 2 isn't shitty as compared to 1 or something like that. I didn't think it was bad. It was different. It was just really fucking bloody. It was really over.
But again, you've also only played the prologue, so.
But then I've only But I mean, what Resident Evil is 3 or 4 hours? I can't imagine Evil Within is much more than 6 or 7, maybe 8 tops.
It's true. Resident Evil 7 is another one that I want to give a go.
That I have no interest in. This just looks terrifying. It looks so scary.
I enjoyed the little beta versions they released over the course of the few months.
I booted it up and it was like, you have to go outside the door. I opened the door and shut it off. I was like, that's too much.
Elliot,
no, thank you.
Do you have PT?
I do.
PS4? Please play PT, please.
I gotta find a way to get that back on my PS4.
Actually, I have played it. Yeah. And it was just one of those things where, like you go through the hallway and you go open a door and then you're in the same hallway again.
Yep.
And I did that like 3 or 4 times. And I was like, well, this is the whole game. I'm done.
No, it's not.
But I know it gets... Oh, God, those games are so terrifying.
Can we not bring up PT? It just makes me sad.
How did you manage to lose it?
There's a way to get it back.
Well, I mean, I know there's a way to get it back. I'm talking about the fact that...
that's not going to get made.
Yeah. Silent Hills.
So yeah, speaking of Silent Hill, if anyone doesn't know what PT is, Silent Hill's been kind of a long neglected horror franchise, and PT was a demo for a new Silent Hill game that was going to be made in the first person perspective and utterly terrifying. And
it was going to be made by
Hideo Kojima, the guy who does Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
And then
starring Norman Reedus and also with Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro doing the monsters and other stuff. And then it all crumbled apart when Konami, who was publishing it, their relationship with Kojima fell apart, and then the game fell apart, and that's not going to happen anymore. But there is this demo, which is more of a proof of concept than anything, but it's wonderful, and it's, if you like horror and awful things to play, you will love this.
It is pretty freaky,
but
I couldn't actually work out what you were meant to do.
It's a little obtuse. It's one of those things where after you've gotten past the main freaky things, because those are pretty simple, at least to figure out. But there's like one part later on where it's like, what the fuck are you supposed to do to finish this?
Yeah.
Go
do you
online.
have to just walk around and focus on certain things?
Yes, yeah, and it's like take 10 steps at this point till you hear a baby cry. Go look over here.
Fuck that.
Yeah, it's like it's very obtuse. Look it up online. It's just because it took people forever to figure it out. Nope. A lot of people did it like accidentally. So yeah.
Oh please, Elliot, play and stream this, please.
No, nah. I've tried to play it a couple times, and I'm just like, fuck.
We'll be there watching you and giving you encouragement.
God no, I'll watch someone else play it, but fuck you. Or if you think I'm gonna play this.
Well, regardless, you can expect a few streams going up onto the Rather Be Playing Twitch over the next couple of weeks. We should each try and take those couple each that we have for homework and do a bit of streaming. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'll be great for Halloween.
Yeah, so that's what we got coming up in the future. But in the past, back on the 7th, Stevo and Elliot made their way to Lexington Park, Maryland. What did you guys do there?
We attended Lexicon with our good friends Eric and Tess from the Same Team Y'all cast. And we just had a ball, really. Eric was on the cast last time out, and he's, as you could tell, he's a really entertaining guy. He's really funny. He asked us to come along and set up a booth at Lexicon and do a little talking about the podcast, meeting people, and basically we got to enjoy a load of amazing cosplay from all ages, from the kids to the eldest among them. It was a lot of fun. We got to meet Sean, aka Big Sexy, from Tess and Eric's local comic store. Really charming guy. Sold me a comic book. That was fun. Accidentally left it in Elliot's bag, so now it lives in Easton, Pennsylvania. Sorry, Sean, really sorry. And we also did a little half-hour chat with the Same Team Y'all cast about how to put on a podcast, what we do week to week, and editing. And Elliot, do you want to make this sound more fun?
It was.
What did we talk about in the panel?
As we said, so it was a panel with Stevo and I and Eric and Tess, and just generally talked about how we do podcasts, why we got into it, how we got into it, some of the tools we use, and we actually we're fortunate enough to be able to record the entire panel, and we're gonna kind of stitch it onto the end of this episode here. So hopefully, if you want to stick around, you'll get a chance to hear how it went. It'll be a live recording from Lexicon itself in the panel room. And
I also just wanted to give a big shout out to Eric and all the librarians. It was so cool to see everyone who came.
It was amazing.
Kids, teens, adults having so much fun at Lexicon. Everyone was so involved. Like, there were so many people who came dressed up. I was just blown away. I couldn't believe it. Everyone was like completely enraptured with the stuff that was going on. There was arts and crafts going on. There was a couple of panels. There was a Skype interview with Sophie Campbell, who is an artist on Gem and Holograms and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics. And it was just all so much fun. It was such a fantastic day. We really had a ball.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that I missed it, but I'm glad you guys had fun.
So it was our very first convention where we hosted it. Like, we had a table, we had a booth, and we put pictures up online if you follow us on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. And it was a table. We had all of our stuff out there, and got to talk to so many people. And that was like, when it's your first one, you're not really sure what to expect. You're not, you don't want to come off as like an idiot. You want to know what to say. You don't want to be like, we do a video game podcast. But and so that whole aspect of it was kind of nerve wracking, but then like you just start talking to people and everyone is so cool and so chill and so interested. And it really made being there like not just easy and a relief, but just an absolute like amazing amount of fun. And so credit to the entire Lexington Park community and whatever other communities these people might have come from. But it was just awesome to talk to people who are interested face to face and get to tell them about, what we're trying to do here.
Yep. Big up St. Mary's County Public Library system. Hopefully we'll get back there to do it again next year.
I would absolutely love to. Yeah. And again, like we got to talk to Eric a little bit, test a little bit. Eric was, as we mentioned in the last episode, running the whole thing or most of it and was clearly just like doing a million things at the same time. So credit him for putting on an amazing production. It was really cool. And they had like comic book artists there. They had artists there. They had the comic book store there. And it's killing me that I can't remember the name of it.
Third Eye.
Yeah. Comics. I was like, it sounds like something else. And I was like, Third Eye Blind. Third Eye Comics. So check them out if they are anywhere near you. They're really good people.
Well, I guess we'll call that a cast then. If anyone wants to stick around and check out the panel that we did at Lexicon, please do. It was a lot of fun. Again, it was so nice meeting Tess and always great crack hanging out with Eric. So definitely check that out. Elliot, where can people find us?
People can find us at on the web at ratherbecast.com, or you can follow us on Twitter at @RBPcast. You might also see us quipping at each other on our own personal Twitters at RBP, Elliot, Stevo, Josh.
And please like and subscribe to the podcast. Please rate us if you can. If you know anyone who might enjoy this nonsense, please pass it on to them.
This is the only way we grow. This is the only way we get out there. We're on YouTube as well. I know we haven't updated the YouTube channel in a while, but everything is totally up to date. All the episodes are up there for your listening pleasure.
And we will hopefully be posting a few video on demands of streams that we do on Twitch over the next couple of weeks as well. Get your Halloween fix there.
Or you can catch the streams live at twitch.tv/ratherbyplaying.
Yep.
Do it.
But yeah, next week is Halloween. So look forward to that. And we will as well. Maybe me, not so much, but the other guys.
Silent Hill.
We'll see.
It's time, Elliot. It's time.
Can't fight the tide.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I will see you then, and I'll see and everybody else. Check us out in 2 weeks.
Thanks for listening,
everyone.
everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
My name is Bill. I am a librarian, actually, from Charles County Public Library, but I'm one lone. So, and today we're going to talk about podcasts, and I have some guests from 2 different podcasts. The first here is from, I don't know if you want me to read about the podcast or what you guys want to talk about a little bit, but this is Eric, and that's Tess. They're with Same Team Y'all podcast. And over on my left, your right, you have Elliot and Stevo, and they're with Rather Be Playing about video games. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys talk a little bit about what your podcast is, and we'll get started. Cool. Who'd like to begin?
You want to start with our cast, Tess?
Yeah, sure. Oh, you want me to talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you want to start with our cast?
I do. Eric and I do a podcast called Same Team Y'all, and it is it's kind of a podcast promoting peace and positivity throughout the land. And we do that by talking about stuff that we love. Sometimes it's stuff in pop culture. Sometimes it's stuff going on in our lives.
Sometimes it's Bill Nye's different bow ties, and things like that.
And then we tell uplifting stories from our library, because we're both, I should mention that, we're both librarians. Yep. And then we share life lessons that we've learned along the way. And we also have a spin-off podcast called Same Peaks Y'all, where we talk about the television show Twin Peaks.
How far have you got into it? How many have you watched?
I'm episode 6
Of the original series.
of the original
Yeah. Oh, wow.
1990s.
Okay,
so.
once you get into the second series, then me and Nisha are going to jump in and join you.
Oh, that'd be a great idea, actually. Yeah, I'm only episode 6 in, and I haven't decided if I like it or not yet.
Yeah. Yeah, full disclosure, I'm just forcing Eric to watch Twin Peaks.
That's about right.
Is it worth it though, Tess? Tell us it's worth it.
I mean, I think it's worth
The
it.
cost. The
I'm
cost
questioning
is,
myself now.
She forces me to watch Twin Peaks, and then her husband edits our podcast, so it's worth it.
Seems like a fair trade-off.
Yeah, it is.
Tell us about Rather Be Playing.
Do it, Elliot. Do it up.
So Rather Be Playing is a podcast where 3 guys sit around and talk about how they'd rather be playing video games than
Doing grown-up stuff.
doing anything else.
Such as, this is your time.
Such as not having a baby.
There it is.
Eric thought we all had babies because he's a new father
I am,
and
yeah.
would also rather be playing it. So, like, obviously, if there's a podcast about this, they must all be fathers and not have time to play. But no, we just whine.
Yeah, we just have jobs, and
I know.
it's so much to deal with.
Josh, who couldn't make it today, that's a part of your cast, said,
Yeah.
"We got full-time jobs." And in my head, I was thinking,
So do
doesn't
I.
everyone? I assume most adults
Lots of
did.
people
I'm
with
sorry.
babies have
We're in
full-time
this
jobs too.
Strange
Yeah.
phenomenon.
Babies like +2 jobs.
Yeah. So, yeah, we just, just talk about video games. We're trying
Video
to...
games through the ages.
Through older
as well.
games, yeah.
I missed out on video games when I was a kid. I didn't have consoles or anything, so I've been trying to catch up on the classics. Super Nintendo.
Such a sad story.
Poor
I
guy.
know your hearts are breaking. Tiny violins being played.
So let me ask about what got you into podcasting in the beginning? How did you come up with specifically these ideas of podcasts as well?
We went first. You want to go first this time?
Sure.
We'll go back and forth.
We all used to live in the DC area, and recently Josh moved away and I moved away pretty far. And
Left me all on my own, yo.
So we do a lot of Google chat where we'll just talk about games. We'll play online together, and we were just talking about it so much and kind of digging into it a bit. We're like, and we also listen to gaming podcasts, and we're like, we could do this kind of thing. We've got some pretty interesting takes. Yeah. This is so easy. Let's just record it, and it'll take care of itself.
Yeah.
It's a
So
bit more to it than that, it turns out. But
It'll take care of itself minus the editing,
Minus
the promotion,
all the work,
the
yeah.
recording times.
it was a fun way to hang out. Spend an evening every week or every couple of weeks hanging out
Yeah.
and doing something a little bit creative. Getting to talk about something that we love and hopefully share with other people. For me as well, trying to explain to Nisha why I love games. It's not something you can do if someone just goes like, "Oh, well, why do you like games?" But it is something that if you spend an hour knocking ideas around and discussing, why something like grips you and why something makes you laugh, or in a way that another medium can't, like movies can't.
It's kind of funny that this is a little tangent, but that you said someone might ask, like, why do you like games? I don't think anyone's ever asked someone, why do you like movies, right?
Yeah,
I think video games
exactly.
are such a new
Yeah.
medium. They're like, aren't you a grown man? Why are you still playing games? But it's just such a new medium that, like, it should be on the same tier as books and film, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
The stories that are created,
Yeah.
the ideas and the points of view that are being shared, like you
I
get.
love the passion. Look at this man. I love it. Yeah.
I love the passion that developers show. I love the passion
Yeah.
of the people who make these things.
The amount of work that goes into making them,
Yeah.
like the budgets rival.
I know we haven't even talked about our cast yet, but we haven't answered our question. But I thought I was playing through Skyrim, and I thought to myself, someone wrote all of those books, right? Like all those random books on the
Yeah.
shelves,
Yeah.
and
That
it's
you don't
insane. Well, I stole a quick story. Is I stopped playing Skyrim because I would steal all the books and spend time reading them in the game, and I realized I spent more time reading the books than I did actually playing the game. So, why do we cast Tess?
Oh, well, we started podcasting for the library that we work for, actually a whole year ago.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm just really distracted because you just wiped the sweat off your head. It was amazing.
I'm a bald man. I'm sweating profusely through my Mario hat, but I'm determined to stay in character right now.
So Eric and I had a podcast for the library called Pop Goes the Library, and we did it for a whole year. And then the library was like, "You guys are spending way too much time having fun.
You guys should do library stuff now."
You need to go work at a desk and put put some books away and stuff. So the library kind of canceled our podcast. It's okay. But Eric and I were like, whatever, we'll do it anyway. And so we started our own podcast. And through that year of podcasting, we were kind of realizing that we had a shared mission in life, and that is to bring in the next era of world peace. And so
I literally tweeted at you. I texted you yesterday. I said, Tess, Nobel Peace Prize. That's what I texted you yesterday.
Well, because the world is just so dark.
Does anyone remember the year 2016? Ages
ago.
It was a tough time for everyone, I think.
And we thought, we need to just brighten everybody's lives, and we have to start somewhere. So we thought we'd start with a podcast because we like podcasts.
It was something we can do. Like when you watch the news and you go, "Oh my God, what is happening?" And then you think you can't do anything. I realize we can do a podcast. That's something we can do, right?
And maybe someone will listen to it, and it might inspire somebody to I don't know, have some good feelings about the world.
Someone will listen to me. What would you say?
They do.
I was about to say, maybe someone will listen to
inspired.
me rant about the Ruby Tuesday salad bar, and how much I love all 55 of its amazing ingredients, and think to themselves, you know what, maybe the world isn't so bad. I did a good job that day.
We're not officially sponsored by Ruby Tuesday.
Or capital T.
I just want
my
to
favorite
throw
tea.
that. Yeah.
So, which by the way, guys, in this room at 2:00, we're gonna have a Skype interview with Sophie Campbell, a comic illustrator and artist. She loves capital T's. Did I tell you this? I did a practice Skype with her, and she was like, "You know what I'm drinking right now?" I swear.
amazing.
So very amazing. So once again, not sponsored by capital T. But
This panel is actually just about tea.
everyone bring your tea.
I was
now.
actually,
Check under your
Eric to
seats.
bring it with him, isn't
Yeah.
that how it works?
I
Or
should've.
wait, does
Alright.
Tess
I
bring it?
tell you now, I'm lucky I even made it to this table right now today. So yeah.
So I listened to a little bit of each of your podcasts. I listened to
So
War of the Planet of the Apes
Yes.
and Consensual Hugs with Sing Team Young. And I listened to Swear Jar
Oh, yeah.
with Rather Be Playing. And they're very different, but they're really fun, both in their own way. And so my next question is, how do you envision your demographic audience? Who listens to you?
Ooh, that's a great question.
That's a good question.
Here, you
go
went first
first.
last time. If you have ears and a heart, you should be our demographic, right?
Boom. Drop the mic.
Gosh, I don't know who is it, because we've talked about this. We should probably know what I think in the professional phrase, it's called like a podcasting avatar, like your person that you're shooting for, like that perfect person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who ours would be. Tess, do you?
I know your mom listens.
My mom.
Hi, Mom.
My mother listens. I don't know. Anyone and everything?
Yeah.
We're working on our focus, is what I'm saying for our guest.
I didn't want to sit behind and talk behind.
No, that's okay. This is
Come
great.
join us.
Welcome, Bill. You're doing a great job, by the way. Thanks. I guess our demographics. Anyone?
Yeah, we're hoping that
We do
everyone
keep it
listens.
family friendly. We don't swear. No judging on if you do choose to. But we have been mentioned that we do bring up some topics that some people don't think are family friendly.
I don't know. Everything is controversial these days.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
but I think that we keep everything very positive and uplifting.
Even
and,
the way I look at it, even if there's something I watch or read or play and I did not enjoy it, it was just for fun, so I shouldn't be angry, right? So let's keep that in mind. And another thing to keep in mind is if I didn't enjoy it, there's so many billions of people on the planet, someone probably enjoyed it. So who am I to say that thing isn't worthwhile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to stop. My husband, who we talk about on the podcast a lot, is a barbarian. And he's a raging barbarian. And he gets angry about things. And I had to tell him to stop coming with me to the comic book store because we would walk into the comic book store and he'd be like, "This sucks. This sucks.
People
this
buying
is
stuff.
terrible.
That stuff you're buying, that's garbage.
Why does Spawn look like this now? Wolverine, he's old now. Whatever. What's going on?" And I told him, I was like, when you walk in there, you have to remember that everybody likes this stuff. Like whoever's looking at it, they really like it. It means something to them, and you're just pooping on it.
This is something I think of a lot, actually. It's kind of died down a bit with the Twilight craze.
Oh,
It was very popular to just make fun of it and it's garbage and all this, but here's the deal.
whatever. I liked it.
Yeah, well, that's fine. It wasn't my cup of tea, but a lot of people did like it, and who's to say my enjoyment's more important than theirs? Not at all, right? So I try to keep that in mind. Having said that, it was very popular to make fun of it. Like, it was a running joke. But I try to remember, every time you make fun of something, especially if it's for entertainment, it's someone's favorite thing, right? So try not to be a jerk.
Yeah.
World.
So podcast demographic, not jerks. That's our demographic.
And soon to be converted jerks.
That's right. Yeah. If you're a jerk, you can still listen. No judging. Same team, y'all.
Well, when we were first thinking about recording a podcast, I feel like demographic was something that we kind of discussed and we kind of had disagreements about.
Didn't have an answer.
Yeah, for me, like, I really wanted to do a podcast for people who never played games.
Oh, that's cool.
I wanted it to be sharing stories and sharing, funny things that happen that anyone could relate to. Obviously with the through line of games. Whereas Josh is kind of the other side of the coin. He's more, he is really into his games and loves the technicalities of it and loves like going on forums and discussing games with his friends and stuff. So he was kind of aiming more for a gaming demographic, people who know them inside out. And then I guess we were just trying to find a balance, maybe do a little something for everyone on that spectrum. And again, more than anything, if we can make a few jokes and entertain people, then I don't know, personally, I'd listen to podcasts about anything as long as the people on it are funny and a little bit charming, It's like
my thing is if they seem authentic, right?
Yeah,
like, that's the
absolutely.
thing. If it sounds like, to me, my favorite thing about podcasts is if you're listening and it feels like you're having a conversation that someone would be having behind closed doors between friends, or maybe not even friends. That's my favorite thing about podcasts.
Fly on the wall,
Yeah.
That's the way before I buy my kids your podcast, I've missed it because I was closing the door. Is there a lot of swearing in it? Hold on.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit.
Tag.
We have it tagged as explicit.
Yeah.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Not as contest. No swearing. Same team, y'all. Just in case you're curious. Make it a
But it all goes toward a good cause because they have the swear jars.
So we're putting it back into, we're
Swearing
going
for
to
charity.
donate it to charity.
Yeah.
Elliot, what about you in terms of demographic? Like, is there one of those sides that you would rather cater to, or?
So it's kind of a catch-22, right? Because if you want to, I get your point of view where you want to bring in more people, but it's like, who's going to listen to a gaming podcast? They aren't already interested in video games. There's a million other podcasts to listen to. But then if you're only targeting gamers, then that's such a small demographic compared to like a broader audience you could reach. So it's not a question I think we've really answered. It's like,
so basically neither one of us know what we're doing.
we don't really
Because I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be question one, right? Like, who's your target? And we're just like, we'll just
we don't
do
know.
it.
We're just trying to like
I bought a
straddle
microphone.
that. Yeah.
Ourselves.
I know.
I love to listen to our
let me ask you
podcast.
this. When you guys publish your cast, do you guys listen to it later? Like your personal lives?
Yeah.
I do the editing, so I feel like that's enough for me.
Yeah, we get Elliot to throw up a rough cut with everything, and then it's like, if we feel like some things didn't work or something, we'll ask him to chop a little bit out here and there,
Wow.
So it's a pretty good system.
We tend to just one go it, right?
Yeah.
We one go it. Like you guys, we have songs in our segments that we sing ourselves. And we have a one take rule, right? Like we just one take and it's good, right? And it's held pretty solid so far.
Recently, we tried to script something,
and it was garbage.
and we ended up literally throwing it across the room. You can hear it land.
It didn't work. It didn't work at all. So we just make it up. It's okay,
So, Elliot and Stevo, I want to get into the nuts and bolts of what you guys do. How do you actually? What kind of equipment do you need to start a broadcast or a podcast? And is it something expensive to do, or can you do it on the cheap?
This is pretty much my whole setup at home, and it was pretty cheap. The mic's what, $20-$30, something like that, and then any computer with free software. We use Audacity to record it. And,
So the mics that we use, we each bought one of these, didn't we? What do you call those?
the blue snowballs,
from Amazon. Was it 30? Was it as much as 50?
It might have been 50, was it?
It might have been 50.
I think you might be right.
But the sound quality is really, really good.
Yeah.
As long as you're not sitting in a big empty room with
really well.
wooden floors are really bad. So what I would say is
wooden floors are really bad.
if you can possibly, like, all you need is a computer and a mic, or you could use any kind of microphone. You could use a laptop mic, but
Yeah.
it will not sound as good.
Yeah.
And preferably a room that's carpeted and has a bit of furniture, isn't just walls.
And
you know?
doesn't have dogs eating in the background.
Yeah, cats. Josh's
Oh,
cats.
Josh's cat.
Yes, cats
Yeah,
around
we
the whole time.
constantly have dogs eating like near us and jumping on us. And so we're working on it.
Elliot recorded in a closet for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because his room his house had no furniture
We
yet.
recently moved into a big empty house, and there was just so much echo, and I was so worried about it that I like put a blanket over my head and stuck my head in the closet.
I remember when he jumped on the hangout and we were like,
What are you
Elliot,
doing?
where are you? What are you
Flashlight
doing?
in
Like, I'm in my closet.
It's like an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
You know what? The sound quality was beautiful. That episode, it was
You
perfect.
just look like a ghoul. Like you do. No big deal.
That's why it's audio only.
What about you guys?
Yeah, how we go?
Same deal, only we use a different microphone. We use something, is it Blue Yeti?
Blue
Why is
Yeti,
blue the color?
I don't know.
It says Blue
Yeah.
Snowball, Blue Yeti. I think it's a bit more than yours. I had a friend recommended that does like professional was it video game streaming. So
Oh yeah.
but it's good. It's so good that it picks up like the dogs licking their lips and stuff like that. So we're still figuring out our sound quality type situation. Luckily, Tessa's husband Brett produces the cast now. He edits it since a couple episodes ago, and he does a great job. But yeah, same deal. Microphone. We have one of these pop filters. We never remember to use it, so that's a thing.
Yeah.
And laptop and all that jazz. The hardest thing for me though is the behind the scenes, like the figuring it out, like hosting it. Like, what does that mean? I had a friend who helped me with it because
That's
it's not like
tricky.
you just stick it on the internet. You have to have it hosted somewhere. So there's some sites like we went to Blueberry originally where you pay and they host your site or they host your audio and then you shoot it to iTunes by creating an RSS feed and all that. And if they have books out there. Luckily, we're in a local library where they have plenty of books about using Audacity to edit your audio and how to get podcasts out there. But it was tricky for me. It was really hard at first. So.
Elliot does all the editing for us, and I gotta say, he's really good at it. Even we recorded, Eric appeared on the podcast last week, and there was a lot of coughing going on.
Yeah, there was coughing. Well, yeah, I mean, and also
I'm not blaming Eric. By the way, it was other parties not currently here.
Yeah, so enough. Well, I had weird audio stuff on my end too, and like and I think it was remember when I said I was loud and then it would auto lower.
Yeah,
you can hear that, but I mean, you guys did a great job. So
yeah. So Ellie, you use Audacity is the software that we use to record, and do you use that to edit as well?
I use Adobe Audition.
Adobe Audition. Okay.
One thing we should probably say if we're talking about like us recording, like the nuts and bolts of it, is Tess and I record in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
She's looking at me across the table. We've got a mic and we're talking. You guys are in a different situation, right?
Yeah.
You guys are
that's true.
Patchworking quilts over there.
Yeah. So Josh is in Seattle, Stevo's in DC, and I'm in Eastern Pennsylvania, and we get on a Google Hangouts and we're chatting like normal, and then we each are recording our own feeds and our own mics, and then they all send them to me and I line them up.
Yep. So we basically use Audacity. We all hit. You can start recording whenever, but then Elliot will count us down 3, 2, 1, mark, and then when he goes to put it all together, he basically slices the start point where we all said mark, and somehow it all syncs up.
Yeah, like he takes 4 audio files, right?
Yeah, like we did.
Where if you listen to one, it just sounds like I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
And then you stitch them together. It's basically, that's what they did like with Shrek, right? Like Eddie Murphy's in one room saying all the donkey lines, Mike Myers over there, they never even see each other. And so basically it's like Shrek.
It's exactly like Shrek.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
We are
And
the
do we
Shrek
use
podcast.
Blueberry as well too?
We use Blueberry for like statistics, and like we have an account with them and we give them our RSS feed, but we just host it on our website on WordPress. We just put all files on there and it creates an RSS feed automatically, and we just send them.
So even though you guys are hosted on WordPress, you guys still have a Blueberry account?
We have a free Blueberry account.
Oh, okay. Yeah. To get the stats.
For the stats and like
Memo to self.
they do
That's
some
idea.
Blueberry account.
Yeah.
I will throw out there. We've tried to do a podcast. Or at least I tried to do my own podcast for our library comic book club and film club. And all I did, because I'm low budget, I just videotaped our conversations. Just got rid of the video, just kept the audio.
Yeah.
But the problem was every time I tried to post it, the library says we have to caption everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I don't have time for that. So the good news is, even the kids who were involved in it never actually listened to it, so I stopped posting it.
And they're just like,
in their minds, they can't wait to get to the next podcast when nobody listens to it.
Then eventually just stop plugging the device
exactly.
in. Plug it in
anymore.
It has to, just a little bit more information, it has to do with the fact that you're posting it on a county-funded website, right? Yeah, the library website, which means that you needed to write an entire script of everything said, which I used to do for Top of the Library,
amazing.
Which was insane.
Yeah.
Tess remembers. Like, I'll be like just listening to us and writing Eric : this is Eric, space, Tess : this is Tess, space, Eric : for an hour, which...
Is there web apps that can do that?
There are, but it's like the YouTube app. It's
not great.
So inaccurate.
Yeah.
I ended up buying something called Dragon something, and you narrate it, and in theory it writes the text of what you're saying, but it's even that is really. I kept thinking her name was Tess, and anytime you said anything, like we talk a lot about Disney princesses, any one of their names, it would come up with just random words, So you think they would put Ariel in there, but it doesn't exist for some reason. So
it's like trying to talk to Siri after a while. So I'm going to ask a loaded question. Is there money to be had in podcasting?
So much. I just throw the money in the air. So how many Lamborghinis did you guys buy last year?
I've lost count.
Yeah, so many.
If I had known you could.
Thanks for taking up all the parking out there with your Lamborghinis, by the way.
And they got to put them somewhere.
Yeah.
They don't park themselves.
Which is to say no.
I think the answer is zero. Right?
No.
It's definitely negative.
I think
after buying the banner and
because you got to pay for the WordPress, right?
Yeah.
So you got to buy the mic, and then but there's no money.
There are podcasts out there who make money. They
get sponsors.
They get sponsors.
Yeah.
They
capital T's if you're listening.
or they do like Patreon or Kickstarters or stuff like that to get people to donate, listeners to donate money to them, or they offer exclusive material for a price.
Yeah. But I have mixed feelings about that. I used to listen to a podcast, and I guess I can plug this, called Geek Out Loud, which was great. It was just a guy geeking about stuff he loved. But then he got on the Patreon wagon, and he'd be like, hey guys, listen to my podcast, and if you want to know what I thought of Batman vs. Superman, it's $5. And I was like, no. Yeah, that feels weird, right? Who's gonna, first of all, I'm honored anyone's gonna spend an hour of their day, right, to even listen. Everyone's busy. Yeah. Who am I to say you should pay money to hear what I think about this movie? Right. Yeah. No, that's not why we do it, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. We podcast for the love of it, not for the money.
Well, I do think there is a cash prize for if you receive a Nobel Prize. So at the end there may be money involved. But once again, we're not doing it for the money. Sell the house now.
Is there a Nobel Prize for one playing old video games?
One day.
Playing video games?
Someday.
Not yet, but one day.
Can you imagine, 50 years from now, it's Nobel Prize for best video game streaming.
Yeah.
Goes to Sweden again. Wah, wah. Stream of Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay.
So if people out here would like to start their own podcast, what kind of advice would you give them to get going?
Just get started is the big thing. We had no real idea what we were doing when we started, but we just started doing it, and we feel like it's coming together. We may not have a huge following, but we at least know what we're trying to say and how we're trying to say it, and if people enjoy it, then brilliant.
Both of us are pretty new, right? How many episodes you guys got? 11?
12, including
12 total with the E3 special. We started in May.
Okay, we started
last year.
In
August,
yeah.
Cool. How many do you have?
Well,
caveat. We started last year with Pop Goes to the Library.
Oh, cool.
And then that got canceled.
We did 10 or 11 episodes of that, and then we started
When did we start Same Team Y'all?
I don't remember.
June? What's the month before June? May?
You're
We're working out all kinds of stuff today.
No. This is how I do it, because summer reading starts in June. So I need to remember what month, because I think that's when we started, because that's when we had time. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But you're right. We don't have a ton of followers either. Or maybe we do. I don't check the stats. I don't know. But it's not. You don't do it for the Benjamins, right? Yeah. Unless there are listeners named Benjamin, because we do it for them. So
Same.
Don't steal that. That's ours. That's really good.
Don't steal trademark. We won't touch it.
So
do it for Benjamin.
Well, we're almost out of time. So before I'm going to throw some questions out from the audience if you have any questions. But I want to make sure, guys, if you haven't been out to the tables. Their tables are out there. Get a button, get a card.
Yeah.
They're with sameteamyall.com. Exactly how it's spelled, I guess.
Yeah, exactly how it's spelled. Yeah.
And Rather Be Cast with Rather Be Playing.
Rather Be
.com.
Oh, yeah.
As well. So make sure you tune into those. Are there any questions from the audience? Yeah.
Ooh.
What kind of editing system do you guys use?
For the podcast, we just use Audacity. So
It's a free download too. Like if you
no, sorry, not Audacity. I use Audition for editing, but you can edit on Audacity.
You can,
yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what do you use? Wait.
Adobe.
You record in Audacity.
I record in
And
Audacity.
then what do you do for editing?
Adobe Audition.
Tess, what does Brett use?
He uses Audacity.
That's what I used.
Yeah.
Our producer is my husband, and he has an audio production background, so he hates Audacity. But it's very like simple to use.
Thank you.
And it's free, so it's really good if you want to get started podcasting. You can edit in that.
First,
Because
Did-
I use Bandicam and I edit with Movie Maker.
Oh wow! What's your podcast?
Oh.
I don't have a podcast, but I do have a
Yet. Okay, a YouTube channel. Wait, real quick, plug your YouTube channel.
What is it?
Saber-tooth Slayer.
Saber-tooth Slayer. Tune in.
Let's bring it up live. Let me know.
If you take off the video, you have a podcast.
yeah.
There you go.
That's actually a good point.
You're actually like way
How
ahead of
much
us.
How much is the thing that you use?
It like I get the whole Adobe suite for work through work, and so it's
I
like
see.
you
Look at
pay,
this
like-
guy exploiting his work business to promote his cast.
I shouldn't have said that out loud.
No.
You can cut that out.
Which, by the
later.
way, where do you work? What's your boss's phone number? So funny.
Audition would cost a few $100s, would it?
It's like $20 a month for the whole suite, I think, something like that. But yeah, Audacity is free and it works just as well.
That is a
Yeah.
Good question. Yeah.
Sorry, did I
I
say
should say it should.
My question is basically, with all the movies that are coming out in Hollywood, and they're now really starting to go back and redo movies, what would you like to see be remade? Whether it's a classic movie or a cult classic movie, or even a video game movie that needs to be redone. Because let's face it, there are plenty of video game movies that need to be redone.
So
You wish
yeah,
you could just hit a reset button. Like, guys, that was a rough draft. I'm sorry.
Are there any video game movies that you like?
I do.
That were good.
I
Street
know.
Big
Fighter
surprise.
was fun that as a
Street Fighter
kid.
needs to be redone.
so that needs to be redone. Oh man, there's something about the Mortal Kombat movie that I love the way it is exactly.
I know what it is.
Even
It's
though-
techno.
even-
Mortal
I
Kombat.
think it's called nostalgia.
Yeah,
actually.
I don't know. It's fan service.
When I was a
for sure.
kid, I thought Johnny Cage was so cool.
Yeah,
And
I
now as a
did.
grown up, I'm just like, because he's like, hold my shades. I was like, what? That's the thing we're
And
doing?
they kill him in the first scene of the sequel.
Yeah.
I was like,
Spoiler alert. I don't
18
know
year
what
olds
I would
We'll
do.
edit this out. We'll edit it out.
I'm more interested in if Hollywood has original ideas.
Yes.
That's not the
100%.
answer. That's not what he asked, though.
I know, it's fine. I watch like remakes and reboots and stuff, and some of them are good and some of them are less good. But I am always more impressed by when people come up with a new, exciting world that they introduce us to. So
Okay.
that's
Like Avatar.
That's
I'll tell you right now, I'll be the first one to be like, when I went in the theaters, I was like, yeah, James Cameron, I'm on board.
No. It must have been really easy when the humans weren't around. Like, literally, they just had to edit their faces. But when the humans were around, they had to add the size and all that. It must have been really hard.
When I went to see Avatar in the theaters, I thought to myself, this is a movie that in 10 years from now, I wish I got 5 sequels to. And James Cameron is working hard at answering my wishes right now. So thank you, James
I
Cameron.
know.
We didn't answer his question.
I did.
Oh.
Is there anything you'd like to see remade or rebooted?
I would like to see. There's a musical called "How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying" that came out in the 70s.
Yeah,
it's a phenomenal musical.
It's one of your favorite movies.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It just recently.
Do they really need to remake it though? It's perfect the way it is.
Starring Daniel Radcliffe, because Daniel Radcliffe, who plays Harry Potter, was the main character in Broadway for a bit, and I would love to watch that remake.
It's not a feminist film.
No.
I just want to put that out there.
It's very old-timey. There's a lot of questionable behavior towards secretaries in it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But then they laugh afterwards, so I guess it's okay. So,
I think we're about ready for a Care Bears reboot. I feel like that could be an episode on Same Team, y'all. Watching that.
Oh my god, we would totally do it all Care Bears.
My baby sisters were obsessed with that. They watch it on repeat. Care Bears 1 and 2 every single day.
It would probably be like a Netflix original animation now. Because you see, Magic School Bus just came back, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know? And I was like, okay.
Oh, man, I didn't even know
this is what we're doing. Yeah, it came back on Netflix.
Hey,
so.
it's not bad. We are in episode 4 right now.
I was watching a trailer yesterday with my wife, and I was like, "This is a show."
They actually have iPads.
Yeah. It's because it's Miss Frizzle's sister, right?
Yes, it's his sister. Lily Tomlin still has it.
But really the old art back in the 1900s was actually
way back in the
1900s.
I heard the animation was actually steam powered.
Was it ancient times? That's ancient arcade games.
Yeah.
Or what he called it.
Ancient
Ancient arcade games.
God.
Arcades were first opened.
They had to dig those out of archaeological.
Oh man.
You got any other remakes for us, Elliot?
I'd be scared that it would only end up worse.
What is it? What is it?
Anything.
Oh, anything.
I feel like anything I would say would be like, yeah.
I've got one last one. Star Wars Episode 4. Oh, they just did it.
Look at you, mister. This guy.
This guy's got a lightsaber.
I enjoyed it. It was good.
Oh, you can
Tess, get the security incident report ready.
Remake the prequels. There you go.
Oh,
with more Jar Jar in it,
with
right?
more Jar Jar.
I'll tell you real quick, not to get on a Jar Jar bandwagon, like on a soapbox. A lot of people hate on Jar Jar. That's another thing, like Twilight. There are a lot of kids and people that do like Jar Jar. Just throwing it out there.
Have you heard the fan theory that Jar Jar was originally supposed to be the master, evil Sith? Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
Do you think he could be Snoke? The whole time?
He totally could be.
There's that one scene where Snoke was like, Misa doing the dark side. Okay. I think we're all
We're trying to move on to our next panel, so thanks all of our guests.
Hey, thank you guys.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool. I'll go grab the other guys. We're just roll right into the next one, right?
Oh, cool.
Oh, is Bill doing the next one too?
Bill's the freaking man.
Bill's amazing.
That was so professional, man. Bill's the freaking best. So, hey, there's. It's fun, right? This is a lot of fun.